Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin and I am the Dream Decipherer, and I help you to crack the code of your sleep and dreams so you can sleep sound and dream deep. This evening, we have a short dream, but it's a conversation between two brothers. They're having a heart to heart talk. So let's dive right in and find out what's going on. The dreamer reports that he was visiting his brother at his home, and the brother was alone. The brother also hints that he has been suffering from social anxiety of some kind or other. During the conversation, the dreamer advised the brother that one of the brother's sons had apparently sent a text advising that the son had gotten divorced. And there's a further explanation that the son got married on the spur of the moment in Vegas. The dreamer assumed that the brother was already aware of this news when he told him, but it doesn't seem to be clear here whether the brother actually knew already or not. Then in another part of the conversation, the another son of the dreamer's brother is mentioned, and this conversation was a lot less clear, only that there was some purple or reddish purple looking fruit on a appeared on a flyer or some kind of ad that was associated with this conversation, and there the dream ends. So, what exactly is going on in this conversation between these two brothers? The first thing, as always, I have to advise that the people in our dreams are not necessarily themselves. They can be, but dreams come from us and are about us, the images that are presented are representing something about the dreamer, his or herself. So this visit to the brother who was alone. Now, was the brother alone because people were out of the house, or was there something more going on? And the brother does hint at being having issues with social anxieties. So there's a feeling of loneliness being evoked here. This person is basically suffering on his own. But my question here for the dreamer is, with this social anxiety, what does that evoke for the dreamer? What does that imply or mean for the dreamer, to be have suffer with social anxiety? What does form does that take? Does that total avoidance, or certain people or certain situations? Just what does that stand for the dreamer? And again, my question here was this the brother alone because of the social anxiety, or just because people were not in the house? And that begs the question here, is there somewhere in the dreamer's life where something so similar may be going on in waking life? Is there a relative or friend or even a brother who may be suffering with anxiety of some form or other? The other thing that came up during while I was looking at this was the phrase, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And it seems to me that the in the dream, in any case, that the one brother is reaching out to the other in an attempt to connect in some way. Now, what's interesting about all of this is that it's the dreamer who's providing information to the brother about the brother's children, and that which he may or may not have been aware of. Um, but which begs the question, is there this perhaps this social anxiety is preventing even the brother from being in contact with his own children? Is there some other issue that may have caused this breach where the dreamer is in contact with his nephews, but the father of the boys is not. Um, so there's this one conversation about one son, which is pretty straightforward, and one that is not. And with regard to the second son, the conversation is features a piece of fruit, a reddish or purplish kind of fruit, which appears on a flyer or a poster of some kind. And my question here, or questions here, well, what did this fruit remind the dreamer of? What did it look like? Purplish red. It could be lots of things from plums to apples. But what did it look like? And what if you if it can be identified what this fruit looked like, what does that evoke for the dreamer? And if it was a flyer or poster, what was it advertising? Was it an event of some kind? What was it? Was it a drink? What was it exactly? And there's something else that kind of popped into my mind when reading this is that there might be a possible play on words going on here, which the unconscious does like to use. And the expression that came up was feeling fruity, which I guess here in the UK people would understand feeling fruity, but it's just feeling a bit of a tingle um, in, in the nether regions. So I just wonder if there may be an issue there that the dreamer needs to look at with regard to relationships. So, as although this dream was short, there are several things that could possibly be pulled out of it for the dreamer to look at. The first being things seem to be here in pairs. You have the two brothers, you have the dreamer and his brother, and then you have the two sons or two brothers. And my question here for the dreamer is, what could these brother figures, whether you're talking about the sons or talking about the dreamer and the dreamer's brother, represent in some way some of the perhaps some of the dynamics in the dreamer's waking life, some of the family dynamics there. There also seems to be a connect and disconnect beat that features in these dreams in this dream. Despite the dreamer's connection to with his brother, the brother is disconnected from his sons, it would seem. One son gets disconnected from his marriage by getting divorced. Another son is disconnected in that there wasn't he doesn't even clearly appear, but is kind of associated with a piece of fruit, which is a bit of a disconnect, or may not be, depending on what the fruit is and how it figures into the story. But my question here for the dreamer is that, is there a part of the dreamer's life where there is a disconnect with others despite being connected to them? And that can take different forms, whether a disconnect in terms of communication, a disconnect in terms of physical distance. Is there some kind of disconnect between some aspect of the dreamer's life and another aspect, and that they're not joined up for whatever reason? So there you have it. You're having brothers having a heart to heart talk, but it begs the question is whether the dreamer needs to have a heart to heart perhaps with himself, or with members of the family, where there might be some kind of disconnect. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Have a great evening and rest of the week. And if you're here in the UK, bank holiday weekend. And I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.